Because every human being is a story. Every one of us is a story. You love a story. And you have one, you have one. I've got a dime novel. I always start with a character. Because I so love people, I'm so interested in people. I start with a character, and then I say, well, this character has a story. I see that character in my mind, I envision him. And I said, now what's the story? Everybody has something interesting in his life that was important. And my mind begins to work around what would be the story around this character. And so that's how the stories begin to evolve, you know. You've heard me say this before, you know, that I am now in the enviable position of being able to come up with any kind of biography I want to come up with. For the simple reason that there's nobody left alive to contradict me. So I can come up with any story I want to come up with. It feels perfectly safe. Life is such a miracle. It is such a wondrous gift to be able to have life. Incredible gift, incredible miracle. And the purpose of life is very simple. It's to be enjoyed. And I'm not kidding when I say that. The purpose of life is to be enjoyed. This idea to live one's life in suffering and sorrow and sacrifice, that is crap. Because life is such a wonderful miracle, it's such a wonderful gift to have it. And to live one's life dragging through a muck of sacrifice, and I don't mean, and I'm not talking about selfishness. I'm not talking about selfishness at all. Because life is not, that kind of enjoyment you need is not going to come through how much stuff you own, or how prominent your position is, or any of that stuff. It's how you relate to all of that up there. It's how you relate to other human beings. It's how you relate to yourself. Of knowing what it is to just love things. To love being alive. To love what you're doing. I think, I don't want to leave this world, because I love it. I love it. This world is a wonderful, wonderful, marvelous, incredible thing. The only problem it has is what human beings do to it. And all the problems we have come out of it, the bad behavior of human beings. But the world itself is such a wondrous. I so often think, you know, that I have a globe there that I love to look at that globe and think about. When you look at that globe there, and you realize that this little ball we're sitting on, in all of that vastness and all of that stuff that's out there, where the only thing we've ever been found out there is cold and death. That's all we've ever been able to find out there. When you realize that this little ball here is the only thing in all of that mass of stuff where life can exist. When you really stop and think about that, it's mind-boggling. You look at all those huge balls and shapes and things that are out there. None of that can produce life. This little ball is the only miracle of life that's there. So perhaps haven't we all, maybe all the time, this is a thought that intrigues me a lot, maybe all the time we have been thinking about paradise being in the wrong place. That paradise is not something off out there somewhere. Maybe we've been living in paradise all the time and didn't have sense enough to know it. This idea is one that plays in my head a lot. I think and if you start reversing that process and not thinking of paradise as something I'm going to go floating off to and gather a bunch of wings after I die, but it's right here. And we are the ones who keep it from being a true paradise by our own behavior. And I become, as the older I get, the more I'm inclined to think perhaps that's the way it really is, you know. It really is it. It's not all out there. You've been living in it all the time. Because how many times have you had the life experience that you yearn for something off over there somewhere, greener pastures, other places, and then once you have an opportunity to experience those things, you realize what I was wanting was back there where I left. But I couldn't see it. I was too close to it, I couldn't see the thing I wanted, and after was right back there where I left. You know, as you become older, you start thinking about a lot of these things. You start thinking about these things a great deal.